Good evening, friends. Everybody's video is muted.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening. Good
Ji, namaskar, namaskar. Can I see the people?
Yes, yes. Sir. Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
Unmute the video.
Good evening, sir.
Lakshmi, fantastic program today. We had some back-to-back rocking programs. Yesterday, Raja Lakshmi ma'am took the world apart. Today, all the learnable moments of there, Lakshmi highlighted. Fantastic.
Lakshmi?
But one thing, Lakshmi, you did which was very bad. I didn't appreciate it at all. It was not expected from you. You robbed the fun of seeing Home Alone. From now onward, whenever we see, we will be looking at what is the action, what is the learning experience. Like, this is not right. You could have spared us that.
That was the only available in the time that I had. I had nothing in front of me.
No, but it was beautiful. The way you broke it down, beautiful, beautiful.
But confidence was before you, Lakshmi. You say nothing before you. Your confidence was with you, no?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You are looking very fresh now.
Now I'm going to sleep for 8 hours and then I'll be fresh, sir.
Relax, totally yes, relax.
Totally relaxed.
Totally relaxed now.
Yes.
Okay. So will others kindly unmute their video? Akash. You're totally dark. Nagi sir. Kanaka Pratap ma'am. Okay. So now today we are going to be analyzing the programs that have been, conducted till now. Lakshmi very smartly ensured that she went up to the last 2 minutes so that I can't take anything out of that program to discuss.
That was designed, sir.
My mistake. Anyway, but then your program was so picture perfect, very difficult to find anything in it to discuss. Other than that, there are lots of learnable moments in it. So we are going to be discussing everybody's program, but one caveat before that. Can any one of you preempt me and tell me what the caveat is? What is the caveat I'm going to be putting in front of you before we start the discussion today?
It is for our growth and development, not to be taken in any other way.
Fantastic, Akash. Superb. Akash always has the right answers up his sleeve. Friends, all the programs are fantastic. There was a lot to learn from all the programs. So I don't want anyone to misunderstand anything which is going to be discussed now. Whatever I'm going to speak is my personal opinion, and I'm not trying to paint the entire canvas with my brush. I'm just going to be thinking out aloud. And each one of you is allowed to think aloud. Okay. You see, creating a social presence is all about talking without fear of favor, not worrying about what the other person will think, and understanding that everyone is going to benefit from whatever is being spoken about. It's possible that people who are not here, that program might also come up for discussion. I don't want them to feel bad. Just a minute. Good evening, Darshanaji. Arun here. Are you joining the program? Because we are going to be discussing your program. That's why I thought I should ask you first whether you're joining. Oh, congratulations, congratulations. May God give you a long, long married life. Beautiful married life. No, it's okay. No, because your program we'll be discussing, I don't want that you should think that we have discussed your program in your absence. That's why I telephoned to you. Yeah, it will be recorded. It is being recorded. Is it okay? Should we discuss or should we drop it? तो मैं पहले आपका कर दूं immediately as soon as I start. Oh, it's okay. You leave it. We will discuss about it afterwards. I will discuss here on the platform, and then I will discuss with you separately. You can go through the recording, then we will discuss separately. I don't want your anniversary celebration to be disturbed. Okay? Please go ahead. Enjoy. Enjoy. Please convey my congratulations to your husband and family members also. Bye bye. Bye bye. Good night. It is Darshana ma'am's marriage anniversary today. Let us all wish her a fantastic conjugal life. Are we all ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you all willing to shed your inhibitions and discuss?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Enough priming has happened now, sir. Adequate priming has happened now. Now we have understood today what is going to happen.
Nothing is going to happen.
No, we are going to learn.
Yeah, not learn. We are all going to discuss and understand. What you see is two friends walking across a ground in deep conversation, and one of them falls into a ditch filled with water. Can any one of you unmute and tell me what has this got to do with today's program, Participants Day program?
If we do not plan ahead of schedule and we do not know what is going to come later on with giving a presentation and just go on without any planning, then the presentation will fall on its face, just like the person fell into the hole.
Thank you, Mahesh. That is one beautiful perspective. Any other perspective?
Sir, may I?
Yeah, please.
Sir, bhagyish se podlo, ami podini.
You're not audible correctly, Akash.
Thanks. Thank God I didn't fall down.
Can I come?
Hello.
Just a minute. Akash, what are you telling?
Thank God I didn't fall down in his place.
Okay.
So we don't need to make all the mistakes ourselves. We can learn and avoid pitfalls.
Very good. Very good. In Bengali,
come?
there is a saying, you know, Akash. Can you tell me the saying?
Not really, sir. Bengali is my weak link.
Okay, I will tell you. Kyo dekhe sekhe, kyo theke sekhe.
Oh, perfect.
Some people learn by seeing, others learn by suffering. हाँ अनिल जी बोलिए.
He is not focused. His attention is diverted here and there.
Okay. Anybody else?
Mind your
Yes,
step
Jagdish
before
ji.
going.
Jagdish Nonia has raised his hand. Yes, tell me, Jagdish ji.
Before putting your step, you should mind and see what is there. Is there any hole or snake or something like that? If you are blind, you will be perished or you will fall in hole.
Okay.
I think both are DMT participants. The one who
Yeah, tell me. Rajendra ji, you stopped.
There is a saying in English, sir, that look before you leap. Just like that, it just goes with that.
Okay. Yes, Rajendra ji, you are telling something.
Me?
He's got an issue. He's got a
I think he got disconnected, sir.
disconnected. Yes, yes. Anybody else?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, Rajendra.
Yeah, I think some bandwidth issue.
Yeah.
Okay. I was telling that both are like the participants of our program. The one who doesn't attend or doesn't wholeheartedly participate in the Wednesday program is the one who falls in the ditch. The other one survives.
Okay. Okay, there is another perspective. Anybody else?
It's like what we have to do. If there is a field of landmines, we should know where the landmines are. Otherwise, we will step on a landmine and we will be nowhere, sir.
Okay. Thank you. I think we have had sufficient answers in our basket. Very simple. If you know where even the best of programs, how it can get messed up, you will not make the same mistake again. It's as simple as that. We are going to see 6 or 7 programs that has been given. You see, everybody's program was very good, but I could not go and collect everybody's program and take snippets out of it. It's a very time-consuming job. And we don't have so much of time. And I thought, that from each aspect of the program has got various aspects. From each aspect, maybe something from an opening, something from a closing, something from a, breakout room activity, all these things. What appeared to me as could have been better. I'm not telling this is not good. I felt that it could have been better. I have taken out, and I'm going to be putting that video part of it. You will have to tell me what it is you really felt at that time or what it is you are feeling now. And then we will discuss that part of it. Is it okay with all of you?
Yes, yes.
Again, I'm telling you, this is not a reflection of the program. This is not a reflection on the capability of the trainer. It is not. The programs were excellent. That is why, we are sitting here and judging only maybe 2 minutes of a 2-hour program. The snippet is going to be only of 2 minutes. That means every other aspect of the program, there is nothing to find a fault with. If this part had been handled, it would have been a superlative program. Only that part. Okay? Now, let's start. One of the most amazing programs we have seen during this short period of about 10-12 days of program. That program, one part we are going to see now.
So have you all ever been to the mirror house?
To the?
Have you
What is
ever
that?
been to the mirror house?
Mirror house.
Mirror house.
Mirror
Yes,
house
yes,
is the last-
yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
yes, yes.
yes.
Remember?
Yes, very much.
Remember those
This is
moments
familiar.
of being in front of each mirror? Maybe with your parents or maybe in the school trip, we all had an experience of getting into this mirror house, right? Seeing ourselves through it. various mirrors reflecting different us. Some mirrors reflected us very weirdly. Some reflections were crazy, some astonished you, and some made you laugh. Isn't it? Each of this
Yes,
mirror
yes.
reflected the different you. Same as with our life. The different circumstances, the different occasion, the different people, and the different phases of life. You see yourself into a different reflection. Isn't it? Some of these reflections are part of your identity. And some of them are reflected through the shades of glasses that people wear. So a person with a blue glass will be seeing you blue. The person with the yellow glass will be seeing you yellow. Isn't it? Different people with their different perception, their different opinion, their own baggage of life makes them see you very differently. Right? So their perceptions, their opinions about you showcased you differently at various walk of life, isn't it? So how do you feel when you see yourself in a real mirror? How do you see when you see yourself in a real mirror? You find that in this real mirror, you are being reflected, you are being portrayed as you are. The natural, authentic, the way you reflect is something that is much similar to yourself when it is a normal, ordinary mirror, isn't it? But this mirror, this real mirror, is also an illusion. It is ironical because in this mirror, you see the right is left and the left is right. And thus, this mirror also creates an illusion of the person you see through that mirror. So when you look into the mirror, you see different reflections, but they are not completely portraying you. All reflections are distorted. They are partial. They are not complete orientation of who you are. Who am I? Is a question which is posed in the mind of many people throughout their life. And throughout their life, they try to figure out who they are. Isn't it? So when you see yourself through this mirror, what do you look at? What do you look at when you see yourself in front of a mirror?
Okay. Tell me. Who will have the first go?
Sir, can I come in?
Yes.
Though I didn't see the whole slip, but at one point of time, what she was saying, where she said the left of the mirror looks right of the mirror, the image. At that point of time, the image on the PPT was a plain mirror, not a funny mirror. So I couldn't see what is that. I couldn't connect there.
Okay. Anybody else?
The opening took some extra time. It could have been done little early.
Okay. Third.
I think she spoke a lot. Instead of that, it could have been either interactive or straight into the breakout room. The same concept.
Then
While looking at the mirror, are we seeing our own image, or are we what we are seeing, or are we something different from what we are seeing? That we have to introspect. That was my point of view.
Yes. Anybody else?
So we can also talk positive, or only we have to take the.
No, you take positive. Nothing. Who told you that I am only thinking of negative?
Okay.
Did I ever tell that?
No, I'm just asking. All the 4 points said the same thing, so I asked out of curiosity.
You see, whatever you think of this opening, you tell. That's all. Positive, negative is all something different.
Okay. So it was a different type of opening, wherein the mirror was used, which is a touch base for all of us who had been to that mirror house in the childhood. So it connected well, and it was a good start.
Very good.
She could have used a little bigger font size for the command, whatever she is wanting to communicate. And suppose she could have stopped with that opening, the first step that after the mirror house, then could have been a very effective one.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, he started with Pardon, sir. I'm myself Jagdish.
Yes, tell me.
Initially, she started with mirror house with distortion in the image, but actually he liked to impress with the real mirror for his topic. There was no link with distorted image and the real image.
What is the name of this program?
Awareness.
Self-awareness.
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 Why is self-awareness required?
Because we should not go along with the world's perspective or world's point of view, or the.
In what way is the world relevant here when you are talking about being aware about yourself?
I mean, the mirrors which are reflecting us.
That is precisely where the problem has come.
Yes, sir. Different kinds of mirrors.
There is a contradiction. Wait, Mahesh. There is a contradiction. On one side, you are talking, because you see, the same thing could have been handled in a far better way. We will see how that can be done. But the contradiction in the opening comes that you are showing a picture of a reflection in a distorted mirror. Then you are following it up by talking about people wearing different colored glasses and seeing you. You are talking about how the world is viewing you in a program for self-awareness and not linking up that and this. There are two ways this could have been done. Number one, Darshanaji could have started off in the same way, telling that these distorted mirrors and these variations of what you are circumstantial. Under different circumstances, people behave differently, but that is not their true self. Even under normal circumstances, what you see when you look into a mirror is not your true self. You are something way beyond it. And understanding that is the journey called self-awareness, and she could have entered into it. Or she could have said it in a different way. She could have said the reflections of the world, of how you are perceived by them, oftentimes affects us, but it need not. People view us through their baggage, and that is not us. So we need to insulate ourselves from being influenced by them. For that, self-awareness is required. How you enter into that. Are you understanding what I'm telling?
Yes,
Sir,
Yes,
a
sir,
little
yes.
bit confusion is there still. That fine difference you are trying to say, no? That can you repeat?
I can't hear you properly. Akash, hold it up, please. Yeah.
Sir, there is little confusion still. That
Tell.
one difference point, please rephrase it.
You see, in that video, first she says, have you all been to a mirror house? You see distorted features of your mirror, of you when you look into the mirror. Correct or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Second, she says that different people, when they view you wearing different glasses, they view you in a different way. A person wearing a blue glass sees blue. A person wearing a yellow glass sees yellow. That is the second point she makes.
Yes, sir.
The third point she makes is, even when you look into the mirror, what you see is a distorted version. Correct? Now,
Yes.
where is the link between these three and self-awareness? You have to link it. Otherwise, the audience will not understand it properly. You can link it in two ways. Number one, you can say that you are different at different times based upon circumstances. But you are none of these. You are way beyond this. And understanding that is what is self-awareness. You can link it to self-awareness that way. Or the second way you can link it is, the world will view you based upon its baggages and its perception of the world. You need not allow that to affect you. That is what in Sanskrit means sthita prajna, holding a steady state of mind and not being influenced by anything. This link was missing before she went into the breakout room. That is why.
So by link, you mean we have to explicitly bring this message out as a conclusion. Okay.
Not explicitly, you just transition, the message will come out. You see, all that you need to do is, you see, when the mirror is shown, you see one single statement, how you are looking in the mirror, or how the world sees you, or even the reflection in a plain mirror is all the reflection of you under different circumstances. You transcend these. You are way beyond this. And understanding that which is way beyond what is visible in all these things is what, my dear friends, is self-awareness. And that this is the way you transit into it. When you tell this, what you are telling, you are not telling anything explicitly. You are only establishing that you are not this. Akash, are you the same Akash when you are conducting a class? Are you the same Akash when you are here on this platform? Are you the same Akash when you are interacting with your father? Are you the same Akash when you are talking to your friends? Is that real Akash not totally different from all these? And that real Akash, understanding that real Akash is what self-awareness all about. How do you go about understanding that?
Bravo, sir. Now you have made me today's decoy.
Correct. Absolutely right. You have understood it. Are you all understanding how this could have been taken?
Yes,
No
sir.
answer. You see, the program was excellent. That's why I started with this program, that she has done a marvelous job. But you see, wherever there is scope for improvement, we have to improve it. When you are attempting, like they say, intention drives energy. Don't be satisfied with the lesser goal. Straight away, attempt to achieve the highest level of competence that is possible. And why did this happen? Can anyone tell me?
What is the question?
No, you have given the answer directly, sir. The transition was not clear.
The transition did not happen, but why did the transition not happen?
Sir, I remember you telling, this is what happens when you speak as you think.
That is one aspect of it. But the second main aspect of it is, I don't think Darshanaji put on the black hat and asked herself, what will happen if this statement of mine is challenged by the audience? If that question had been asked, she would have found out the answer by incorporating this one transition, which would have taken the total confusion away. Is it clear? See, this is why the 6 hat is very important. At every part, challenge you. What will happen if I'm challenged here? I have shown you 2 ways the same program, the same opening can be used by insertion of a single transition. One, you can tell you are much beyond this. The second, you can tell that it is their perception, so you don't get affected. But in both these cases, you know, that transition was missing. Maybe it was there in her mind. That is why she created it. I'm 100% sure Darshanaji had this in her mind, but she did not articulate it. And by not articulating, what happens? This is what in storytelling is called head jumping. In cognitive science, you know, we call it head jumping. You simply assume that the other person has understood what is in your head. Okay? Can we move on to the next program? So friends, be very careful. Every slice when you are taking, challenge it. Try to see what can be challenged in that slice. In that slice of, you know, that program part, what can be challenged. I'm only going to be taking slices from the various programs. And if each one of you had asked that question, that slice would have become picture perfect. Are we ready for the next slice? Any questions in this?
Yes.
Any questions? Any contrarian opinions?
No, sir.
No question.
Understood.
We go to the next program, another rock star program. It blew everyone apart. Now was it?
I'll share my screen. Last week, Monday morning, by around 10:30, when I was traveling towards my office, I received a phone call from Mr. Ramakrishna. I understand from his call that he has received a notice from an income tax. He was panicked, and I told him to send the notice to my mail ID. I know Ramakrishna was a very honest person and very meticulous in declaring all his income and file his return in time. As soon as I reached office, I have examined the notice, and then I found that he had sold one of his property in the last year. The value declared by him for income tax was much less than the stamp duty value. The difference was more than 10%. That was the reason the income tax department has issued a notice with the tax and the interest. Friends, the notice can come for various other reasons as well. Today, I am planning to explain you the various implications of capital gain transaction when you are dealing with buying and selling of house property. Come, let us explore.
Yes.
Can I give my views? This is a
Yes,
lighter
yes,
moment.
yes.
This is a lighter moment. More than Ramakrishna, it looked like Robert Krishna. That's my only view.
Okay. Anybody else?
She started, she has chosen her opening with the storytelling, but the storytelling was that much not impactful. I mean, it was not very impactful.
Okay.
So the voice pitch was same throughout the presentation. There was no ups and downs in the voice tones and tonality.
Okay. All that can be corrected.
Yeah.
With Delhi, you know, let us not forget this is Rajalakshmi Madam's first presentation. So in due course, that will all be corrected. But what happened here, if she doesn't realize it, that will not be corrected.
The tax
That is the reason why I
demand,
have taken it. Yeah.
the video was ahead of her audio with the popping off of the tax demand.
Okay. Yes, that is one definite point there. She needs to coordinate it better.
Initially, I had some problem in the system, so I couldn't operate that.
Madam, you don't just mute it. Yeah. Yes.
The image should have been with telephone.
Huh?
The Ramakrishna was telephoning. That one person with holding telephone, it would have been better image.
Okay.
And she took so much of time.
Think as a strategy, what was wrong? These things are all not relevant at all. What was wrong strategically in it? This lies, what should Rajalakshmi Madam have asked?
For a non-finance person, that 10,000 and 10% figure.
Absolutely bang on target, Nitika. Bang on target. This is the problem which a subject matter expert has. What she should have done? You see, she says, if you observe, let me put it again and I will show you. You'll understand.
I'll share my screen. Last week, Monday morning, by around 10:30, when I was traveling towards my office, I received a phone call from Mr. Ramakrishna. I understand from his call that he has received a notice from an income tax. He was panicked. And I told him to send the notice to by mail ID. I know Ramakrishna was a very honest person and very meticulous in declaring all his income and file his return in time. As soon as I reached office, I have examined the notice and then.
So far, there is absolutely no problem. Okay, this tax demand, it could have come a bit later, whatever it is. So far, there is absolutely no problem. The story is moving perfectly. The problem starts now. Because what she should have done is, I saw the notice and I smiled to myself. Friends, notice can be sent by the income tax department for various reasons. There is nothing to panic in it. After all, we are there to ensure that things are taken care of. What happened in this case, we will discuss after I explain to you the nuances of the problems. If she has said that, it would have been perfect. But now see, she enters into something which none of the people in the audience understand.
I'll share my screen. Last week, Monday morning, by around 10:30, when I was traveling towards my office, I received a phone call from Mr. Ramakrishna. I understand from his call that he has received a notice from an income tax. He was panicked and I told him to send the notice to by mail ID. I know Ramakrishna was a very honest person and very meticulous in declaring all his income and file his return in time. As soon as I reached office, I have examined the notice and then I found
Now is the problem.
that he had sold one of his property in the last year. The value declared by him for income tax was much less than the stamp duty value. The difference was more than 10%.
This is the second technical
That was
thing.
the reason the income tax department has issued a notice with the tax and the interest.
Third technical.
Friends, the notice can come for various other reasons as well.
When this is going to be told, where was the necessity of all these 3 points? There was no necessity. And if at this juncture, Rajalakshmi madam, instead of telling those 3 points, had said, I went to the office, I saw the notice, and I smiled. Why was this man panicking? We are there to take care of it. And friends, notices can be sent for various reasons. Today, I am going to tell you of all those reasons for which you can get a notice. Are you understanding, Rajalakshmi ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now I understood very clearly. Yes.
You see, what happens is when you talk, you see, you are talking about having filed a value much less than stamp duty. How that is done, nobody knows. I don't know how I can file something which is less than stamp duty, what is stamp duty, and then 10%, the gap was more than 10%. So what happens is that immediately a disconnect takes place. And once the disconnect takes place, getting people back into the connect is very difficult. Whereas if you had used the statement that, notice has come, I told him to send it, I saw it, I smiled. Why is this man getting? Immediately, what are you doing? You're putting everybody's mind to rest. So a notice is not something people need to be scared of. For hundreds of reasons, notice can come. And it can be handled. And that is what you ended in the end, you remember?
Yes.
You said you can contest that notice and defeat the government by filing such challenging it. If you had said the same thing first and then in the end, you would have created a loop which would have been tremendously powerful.
Very clear, sir. Excellent.
Yes. Have you all understood? This is a problem. This is a problem called subject matter expert problem. A subject matter expert always thinks that what he or she knows, everyone knows. Rajalakshmi madam's problem was she thought everybody knows how to, how people make the mistake of undervaluing their property or, pricing their property below stamp value or the 10% difference. All these things she thought everyone knows because she knows. So every slice, address it, as I said, to a 6-year-old. Think that the audience don't know it. Don't disrespect the audience by undervaluing their intelligence, but don't think that what you know, others also. Can we move on to the third?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Got it.
But otherwise, ma'am, your program was mind-blowing. You see, I'll tell you, when you are going to do a program at a very high level, these things are going to matter. That is why I'm bringing it out so that, you don't make this mistake again. The reason why I brought out Darshanaji is that we all should avoid those mistakes. As in Bengali, they say, yo dekhe shekhe, yo theke shekhe. Life is very short, Rajalakshmi ma'am. We can't make all the mistakes to learn. But it is long enough for us to be able to see the mistakes others have made and learn from it. That is the reason why I am sharing it here, so that all of us can learn from each other's mistake and perfect our program.
Sir, if suppose you would have given the feedback without playing this, it would not have reached my mind actually. No. You are beautifully explaining it.
Anyway, you see, it is not a mistake or anything. It is your first program. And the objective is all of you should become absolute masters of the online platform. It should be seamless, Rajalakshmi ma'am. It should be seamless. Okay, perfection can never be achieved, but it should be near perfect. Only then, you will be able to create the sort of impact which is required. Now, let us move on to the third one. Okay, are we ready? This is by another very good program which was given.
So I have also created that today. When I said that you have 40,000 today, how much you need for financial freedom? So how do you calculate? So how do you calculate? So I made a case study that, okay, suppose your monthly expense is 50,000 and inflation is 6%. So at a growth rate of 9%, how much money do you need to be financially free? So I help you with a calculator that how much money you need to get financially free. So one is to know how much is your target amount. It is important to know how to make money, but you should also know how to calculate that how much money you need to create financial freedom, how much additional money you need to. So this will help you. So I'll be, you can always connect with me so I can help you calculate what is the way going forward. Okay. So let's go back to the session. Okay. I would also like to share a story with you all that is about the, so what are the streams of regular income?
So, any observations?
Yes, sir. So one of the observation is we were looking forward to a story and the slide was saying something else.
Okay.
Actually, he mentioned that he will show something that calculation part of it, and then he deferred that actually, that in a one-on-one interaction, sometimes he will do it or that kind of a thing. So there is a slight amount of disappointment there.
Then
there's a presentation or so much of graphical representation, and the audio part, how we connect that, that is not.
Then
Slide on the financial freedom and calculator. Too much data. I want to know the answer, but I didn't get the answer, but I couldn't even read it. So maybe, I don't know whether it was even relevant and should have been there if it had to be discussed later.
So what does it indicate? It indicates the absence of a storyline. It indicates that there is no transition. It indicates that the presenter has taken it very casually. And terms like, now let us get back to the program, by telling that, what are you telling, that this is not part of the program? Till that point, everything was going excellent. Within 2 minutes, Jigesh ji smashed everything. Totally smashed it. Mr. Habib, let us not use the chat window. It is very disturbing. If you want to say something, please unmute and say. I'm waiting. Please unmute.
It's okay. Recording is not done, I think. That's why I thought.
Recording is going on.
I don't want to disturb your talk, that's why.
No, please. No, don't use the chat window at all. You have this habit of using the chat window. Don't use the chat, please. You unmute and talk to us. You are not disturbing anybody.
Okay.
Absolutely, you are not disturbing. This is a program for participants. Where is the question of disturbance?
Okay.
Please. Yeah.
One thing I feel Raj Lakshmi ji did very well is created a relatable persona. That person who got the notice, then it makes it relatable. Jigesh ji had no human names in it.
There was, it's okay. See, everything was fantastic. There was absolutely no doubt about it. Now we are not on Raj Lakshmi ji, we are on Jigesh Patel ji. Okay? Yeah. Now, you see, when we are going to take the position of a presenter, we are a mentor. What does a mentor do? He plows the mind and sows the seeds of an idea. So we should be extraordinarily careful in how we are proceeding with the presentation. We should be extremely serious. There is no place for frivolousness in a presentation. I'm telling you one thing, I'll make one observation here. This is for everybody. When you are going to be presenting, you can use vernacular language. You can use vernacular language. When you are addressing a person of that vernacular language, you can use it. Or when you are giving a quote in a vernacular language relevant to the context, you can use it. But otherwise, there should be absolute professionalism and seriousness in the language that you use. The subconscious is an extremely delicate organism. If for some reason it loses trust and faith on you, that's the end of it. So don't do it. Don't ever use vernacular, excepting, for instance, you see, when I was addressing Akash, I asked him, do you know any quote in Bengali which is referring to this? And then I said the quote. But suddenly, just imagine, if I were to start speaking in Tamil, how will you feel? Even if I say 3 or 4 sentences. How will you feel? You will feel disconnected. You will not know. And what will happen is your subconscious will grasp it. And it will keep thinking about it. Once I have stopped speaking in that language, also it will keep thinking about it. And what I will say after that will be lost. I have seen that happen on the platform. Let us avoid it. I don't want to take names, but let us avoid it. Sometimes in our emotion, it might happen. That is why I am telling we should be careful that that does not happen. In the case of Jigishi, what happened? He became over enthusiastic. He wanted to give more than what he had planned. He started talking about that calculator which he has created to calculate, and then he told them, I will give it to you on one-on-one if you want. And then he tried to show it, and then he said, now let us get back to the program. When he got back to the program, he went 3 slides back, then came to that brainstorming, then suddenly realized that he wants to tell a story. And then he comes to the story part of it. In these 2 minutes, the audience must have felt totally disconnected. All the good work he has done before that, till that point, is lost. It's like taking a full bucket of milk and then adding 1 drop of gutter into it. What will happen? That 1 drop of gutter water will convert the entire bucket of milk into gutter. Be careful. Don't get carried away. Stick to your storyline. Stick to your agenda and strategy. At the end of the program, if you want to offer something to your participants in the form of a freebie, you can. And in case you happen to offer it by oversight in the middle, don't say, let's get back to the program. Let the people, audience, think it is part of the agenda. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, can we move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Towards achieving our goals. And this feedback mechanism, like some of you mentioned, it could be any of the mechanisms that work for you. It should have a scheduling system in it, a review, and a feedback mechanism. It helps to prevent any kind of hurdles that may come in. It acts to give you the corrective action to take care of the hurdles that appear already. It includes being open to feedback from peers, from subject matter experts, from competition, from market, from anywhere. And that makes sure that your feedback loop ensures that you're on track to achieve your goals. So with this, it's time for another activity. So now, after summing up how we can achieve our goals, I would like to hear from all of you, how will you identify the complexities in your goal? So we are opening into the next breakout room, and the question you need to
Yes, your observations, please.
So any kind of mechanism of achieving goal.
Now, I couldn't understand, Bala, what are you telling?
No, in the mechanism of goals she was explaining, she has given 2 ways of achieving goal. In that, the third one, she said any kind of mechanism of achieving goal.
Get it. Let us go back to it once more.
Initial few seconds, sir. Here, sir.
And this feedback mechanism, like some of you mentioned, it could be any of the mechanisms that work for you. It should have a scheduling system in it, a review, and a feedback mechanism. It helps to prevent any kind of hurdles that may come in. It acts to give you the corrective action to take care of the hurdles that appear already. It includes being open to feedback from peers, from subject matter experts, from competition, from market, from anywhere. And that makes sure that your feedback loop ensures that you're on track to achieve your goals. So with this, it's
Sir, I think I have not understood correctly. Now it's right, sir.
After summing up how we can achieve our goals, I would like to hear from all of you, how will you identify the complexities in your goal? So we are opening into the next breakout room, and the question you need to.
Yes.
So can I say?
Who is it? Yes, Shilpa.
Sir, it was a very interesting presentation. I attended the entire presentation and was a part of the breakout room also. But then I felt that this slide and the breakout room activity, somehow they did not relate. I mean, she only asked us about the complexity, wherein she had already discussed about the entire process. So the transition somehow I felt was they had some missing link. That's what I felt.
Okay. Anybody else?
I would like to say something.
Yeah.
When I first start with the feedback. The feedback had a lot of data. To continuously look at that one slide, and she had such good points. If it was put in a separate slide using the holism approach, probably the retention was better. If she had to speak so much about it, it wasn't some good points there. Also, she gave an activity related to complexity. If you look at the flow of the program, then moving to the second step of complexity and then going, sharing some update and then moving on later on for the rest of the points made sense. Was just my thought.
Beautiful point both of you have brought up, Shilpa and Nitika. You see, she should have given the breakout room for complexity after complexity, not at the end. Then it would have been relatable. Or at the end, she could have told that now you identify in a breakout room activity, which of these 5 points you think is most important. Because after the breakout room, she brings out the importance of clarity being the foundation for everything. Because without a clarity, you cannot have a complexity. Without understanding the complexity, you cannot identify what are the capabilities required for each of these complexities. Without having an understanding of the capability requirement of individuals towards fulfilling those complexities, you cannot talk about commitment. Without that commitment and a roadmap being in place, there is no feedback. So everything depends upon clarity. She summed it up beautifully by bringing clarity as the essential factor. If she had given the breakout room after complexity, discussing complexity for complexity, it would have been very ideal. Or if she had at the end of or talking all the 5, she had said, identify which is the most important feature in this, step in this, that would have been even better. Are you all understanding what I'm telling?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You see, 2 people came out with it immediately. That means even at that point, it must have struck you. A wonderful program Pooja ji gave. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Excepting that slight slip of the tongue at the last moment, that improvisation was missing. I have already discussed this with Pooja ji incidentally. And I'm not showing it for the benefit of Poojaji. I'm showing it for the benefit of you all, that you should be aware that this mistake can happen. Sometimes we overshoot our agenda and move forward. When we overshoot our agenda and move forward, we should know how to improvise at that stage. Is it clear what I'm telling? In the flow,
Yes, sir.
Poojaji did not give the breakout room after the complexity. By the time she realized it, she had already moved on to capability. So she decided to go ahead and complete all the steps and then give it. At that stage, what she should have done, she should have improvised and asked the question, I'm giving you a breakout activity, find out which is the most important in this, and then summed it up as clarity. It would have become a picture perfect program. That improvisation was lacking. That is why this happened. Sometimes what happens, we become so enamored of what we have in our mind, we forget whether the context for giving that is right or wrong. In this case, that is what happened. Poojaji had mentally made up her mind that she is going to give a breakout room on complexity and then connect it to clarity and explain to everybody why clarity is important and why everything emanates out of it. That she had already made up her mind. She stuck to that. Only thing is, at a time when the breakout room activity should have been improvised. Is it clear, friends?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Atulji. Yes.
Okay. Should we move on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Can we
Yes,
have
sir.
a 5-minute break, sir?
My question is that
Yeah, you can take a break, Mahesh, no problem. I will go to the next one after 5 minutes. Yeah. Ask.
yeah, the point was that the entire stack actually showing in one go. I think is that the reason for such kind of a mistake? Means the way you build the things one by animation. Could that actually be a remedy in such kind of complex
Why?
things?
There are many times you must have seen. I give the animation. After the second one, I will go to the next point and then have some activity. Then come back. It will start from there and then the animation will continue. You see, you had, and in case you miss it, doesn't matter. The world is not going to collapse. All that she had to do at that stage was change the activity. Instead of telling complexity, you say which is the most important and throw it to the audience. You see, please understand one thing. The purpose, Rajendra ji, is to get the participants to think.
Yeah.
Learning occurs when you think. Learning does not occur when you serve.
Right.
Force them to think. Make them think. Let them struggle. What is wrong in it? Nowhere have you told them that I will not make you struggle.
Yeah.
This is not a program for spoon feeding.
Right. Got the point.
You see, you should be, you should force your audience to feel disgusted that they are unable to get to the right answer. With that, they will slowly start moving in that direction and they will master it. Let us not underestimate the capability of people to think and find the answer. Today, we are having such wonderful programs being presented by people. They have only created it, na? Maheshji, are you back? I sincerely hope people do not think this fellow sits down only to find mistakes.
Sir, this is
We need to
better
learn,
than the
sir. You have to do
This
that.
is,
You have to do
this
that,
is,
then only we learn.
this is the right way of
Positive
learning.
criticism, sir. Positive criticism. The criticism should be taken
You
positively.
see, I don't want any of you to be anything other than the best.
Wow, gorgeous.
You know, when you get up onto the platform, people listening to you should be spellbound. Absolutely. You should catch them by the scruff of their neck and hold them tight for the next 2 to 3 hours, with them not even being ready to breathe. You know, they should feel scared. If I take time to breathe, I might miss something. Now let's move on to the next one. Okay? Are you ready, Bala?
Ah, yes, sir. Ready, sir. Easily grouped for better understanding. So this gives a fair picture of how we can address a case and now. So out of this 9, I will be touching 2 aspects today for better understanding. The first one I will touch upon is quality as an example. In industry, the scrap percentage is being calculated as a ratio of scrap quantity and the produced quantity. We all know that lesser the scrap is always better. If you see in this graph, for the period of 3 months, on the yellow means before stage, before improvement, from April to June, the scrap percentage was close to about 6. By doing many Kaizens, it has been brought down, it has been slashed down to 3%, which is 50% reduction from its current, from this past level. So other than the scrap, rework and yield improvements come under this umbrella. With an example, let me drill down further about the yield improvements. For ease of understanding, I have taken this example to slowly plunge into technicalities from the home side. Say what we are seeing here is a representation of a machine, and this machine, in each start of that machine, it requires to give only the definite number of products. On the left side, if you see, on the call out, we have given us 3 to 6 rings. Able to see here, no? 3 to 6 rings. It is 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes 6. What is actually required is exactly 3. It is not 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is the requirement. For that, the operator of the machine and the electrical engineer, they have brainstormed together and they have done a lot of analysis, and then they have introduced a timer, which you can see it here. They have introduced a timer for stopping the machine exactly at the end of the 3rd ring. So by this, what happened? The raw material, which is imported from Japan in our case, is saved to the tune of about 1.5%. We call this as yield improvement. Friends, this small improvement was further fanned out to 8 more similar machines, and the benefits were huge, close to about 7% we could save on the raw material front. Now we will see one more example, which is on delivery. Having understood quality, we all know that on-time delivery is a key for any business. Delivery is calculated in many ways across many industries, out of which lead time required to produce a product is one of the way of measuring the delivery. It means how many days we take to produce and hand over against each order of the customer. Always here, lesser the lead time, better the business process. In this graph, if you see, the earlier lead time was 12 days. Close to 55 cases we have did and brought down to 9 days. So there is a 25% reduction in the lead time. While doing cases, we have been taught a unique technique called as 5Y. Again, Masaki Imai, he has told 5 times if you ask why, automatically you will end up with the root cause, so that your solution will be apt for the cause. You need not beat around the bush. Directly you can go and address the root cause. So let us understand this using a Kaizen sheet, which is shown here. Here, this is a machine, okay, which keeps on breaking down. So you can see the objective is eliminate the breakdown of this particular machine. There is a problem which we were unable to meet the customer requirement because of the breakdown, and almost 15 hours this machine is under breakdown. See here we have applied the YY analysis just for the front. Even non-technical people can understand how to use this YY analysis. It's very easy tool. Machine is not working. Why? The bed is not moving up and down. So we will see what is this bed here. There is a bed coming down. There is a before improvement. So bed is not moving down. Why it is not moving down? There is a screw rod. In the color shade you can see. The thread on the screw rod got damaged. Why it got damaged? There is a nut which got loosened. It has loosened and it has come out. Why it got loosened? If you ask, the automatic bed down has happened because of the power cuts. Why that has happened? Not power cut. Why automatically bed has come down? Because there is no mechanical stopper. Only we depend on only the electrical stoppers. So what is the reason? It is because of the poor machine design. So friends, if you ask why like this, it will structurally lead you to a right answer where the root cause is poor machine design. So what is the opposite of it? Improve the machine design. How to improve? By adding one mechanical stopper. So what our people have done, they have introduced a mechanical limit switch so that on the inertia front or on the self weight, it will not come down. Coming to the results and benefits, you could see from 15 hours, the breakdown has come down to 0. Almost it is eliminated. That is the objective of that particular Kaizen. And because of that, the mean time between failure, earlier it was monthly once, which is 25 working days a month. Now it has more than 4 months. And this machine is under breakdown because of some other phenomena, not this phenomena. That's why it is showing us more than 100 days. And after doing the improvement, we are supposed to standardize it so that it will not reoccur, it will not reverse. And then we have to see how many places this same improvement can be just copied. So we have copied in 4 locations, all the 4 locations it has been copied. So friends, so this is the improvement what we have done. Able to see now. Again, I will give it.
Yeah.
Which language was he talking?
नीतिका जी थोड़ा रहम करो उस पे.
Sorry, when I really wanted to understand it more in detail, I couldn't understand the formulas written there, the data over there. If it was in a simpler language, maybe I could have understood some bit of it. It was a little complex to understand. That YY thing was very good. If it was a separate thought, it would have been easy to register it. In between, I was lost with YY. If you use the YY, and I started thinking, yes, he said that the 5 whys that you have to questions that you have to ask. So it must be coming from those questions. But I was completely lost. If it was explained as a separate concept, easy. Otherwise, difficult. The only reason I said what language, because the data on the quality slide and the last one that we were looking at, too much and a little too technical for us to understand.
Any other observation?
Sir, I have an observation. This is Mahesh. Too much of information was there on the slide, so maybe for the audience it is not sticking. So in my opinion, there was too much of information, as I think so.
I think the Kaizen sheet format is good for the internal working, but for the presentation, it could have been like brought out slightly better.
There was repetition of some terminologies, like the rings, 3 or 4 rings was repeated 4 to 5 times. So that would have reduced some time. Repetition of words.
Now, the statistics, what he has given, how authenticated that is. He says that 9% to 6%, 6% to 3%. So that is not actually not able to get the data.
The first question is, where was the requirement for all these slides? When you have said these 9, things are there. If we have removed these 4 slides and jumped straight away to Winston Churchill, the progress is ongoing improvement, what you would have lost in the program. Till that point, the program was extraordinarily simple and easily relatable. Anyone who attended the program know that till that slide, the program was extremely relatable, extremely simple. Then he said, I am now going to show you, take 2 of this and show you. And according to me, massacred the whole thing. There's absolutely no necessity for that. Second thing, constant use of the phrase by using number of Kaizen, where did you speak about Kaizen being a number? You have spoken of Kaizen being a concept. That means what he was effectively telling is by using a number of improvements. Am I right, Bala?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Number of improvements.
You are using a technical word, Kaizen, for improvement. Tell me one thing. How many people on the platform know that in the shop floor, Kaizen is used as a synonym for improvement?
Not all.
Subject matter expertise problem again. Typical subject matter expertise problem. Using language which the audience do not understand. Severe cognitive overload. Severe. Look at all those pictures. You are transitioning in those pictures at the rate of about, say, 45 seconds. In 45 seconds, you might know what is there in the picture, but how do you expect the entire audience to be able to relate with it? Please remember, whenever you are giving a program, again, I'm repeating it, 6-year-old. Just because some experts like Jagdish ji or Rajendra Sapre ji or a couple of other people like Tagireddy sir or others who are into engineering will be able to understand, don't think everybody will understand.
Right.
If you are giving it to your shop floor people, then remove the first entire thing till that 9 points, because that is too generic. You have to be very specific with all these charts. And if you are giving outside the shop floor, you have to remove these 4 slides and then continue in a generic way, because your objective is what? Your objective is to give the message that there are 3 different types of wastages. Muda, Mura, Muri, under one single umbrella called Kaizen. And success in any activity comes through ongoing and continuous improvement. Isn't that what your message is?
Yes, sir.
You are doing an excellent job till you introduce these 4 slides. Now what happens? When you start speaking of this, all the people who are behind the muted video would have gone for a cup of tea or for drinking water or gone to the toilet. Everything is finished. Your entire effort of 1 hour, 15 minutes, you would have successfully murdered it in those 4 slides. Don't do this.
Right,
you
sir.
see, we should never get enamored with what enters into our mind. That's why I say use the 6 hat. The most powerful thing you have in your hand is counterfactual. Counterfactual is, can I do without this? What if this is going to be challenged? What if this is not the right thing to be here? Once you use the counterfactual, you will find that many things are not necessary. Okay?
Okay, sir. Right.
Any other observations from anybody? You see, you are all experts in something or the other. All of you are experts. I don't think there is anyone here who is not an expert at something. Nisrin ji is an expert in education. Sujata ma'am is an expert in education. Kanaka ma'am is an expert in education. Lakshmi ma'am is an expert in education. Ms. Suma and Pooja ji are experts in startups and MSMEs.
Sir, I had a question.
Yes.
So, like Raj Lakshmi madam had invited a esteemed CA from her circle. So, in case the audience is a little bit mixed, like for, let's say in Balachandar ji's case, if some shop floor people also show up and some novices also show up, then how to temper the delivery?
I will ask you this question with a question. Is that okay, Akash? You know,
Okay,
Akash is a lot like, Arvind Kejriwal.
Yes.
You know what is Arvind Kejriwal's main behavioral pattern? Shoot and scoot. He will shoot and then he will vanish. Akash has been up. Answer me, Akash. Unmute first your video. I want to see you when I ask this question.
Sir, I said no. Okay.
Now I want to see you.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
Now, you're absolutely right. In this question of yours, you are not wrong at all. Okay. What if it's a heterogeneous mix? Like, Raj Lakshmi ma'am had called that Mr. K. Ravi Balakrishnan. Am I right, Raj Lakshmi ma'am?
Yeah, B. Ravi, yes.
B. Ravi. Okay. Baby Balakrishnan, right? He is a company secretary.
Yeah, he is a company secretary.
So she had called an expert. And what if the group is a heterogeneous group with lots of experts and lots of novices? Now, I will ask Akash a question. Akash has invited a heterogeneous group of people for dinner. People who eat non-veg, people who eat veg. What will he serve them? Veg or non-veg? Only one dish he can serve.
Vegetarian, sir, because non-vegetarian people will also eat vegetarian, and if he has to serve only one dish, he has to serve vegetarian, because non-veg people will also eat vegetarian.
So obviously, in a heterogeneous group, your program should address the weakest of the group.
Okay, sir.
That's why I keep saying, address your program to a 6-year-old. Because the strongest will appreciate the fact that the most fundamental thing is what will lead to the complexities. You see, when Rajalakshmi ma'am gave that program, it was all extremely crystal clear, and she did it beautifully in a very, very simple way. Barring that one half a minute where she went into, filing the value which was less than the stamp duty, 10%, excluding that maybe 20 seconds or 30 seconds. Everything else was extremely relatable and simple. Am I right or wrong? If she had not used that, and at that point she had taken advantage of the situation to give, confidence to the people that as income tax notice does not mean the end of the world. It is just another piece of paper brought by the postman. The only difference is here you will have to respond to it at any case. You can't just ignore it. Whereas other pieces of paper you can ignore. And for that, the auditors are there. That is what she had to reaffirm. And then she could have continued with the program. In fact, it would have been very powerful because at key points, she could have referred back to that notice of Ramakrishnan and created loops, multiple loops she could have created and created a much greater impact of the program. What happens? Let us see. What is Zeigarnik effect? Zeigarnik effect is when you don't close the loop, right? If she had said that I looked at that paper, smiled, and felt, why is this man panicking? After all, we are there to take care of it. And there are thousands of reasons why a notice can come. Come, friends, let me show you.
Mystery.
Come, friends, let me show you what are the various reasons why this notice can come. And in the process, we will also see what had happened to Ramakrishna. Now what happened? Your transition kept the loop open, got the people thinking about it, and everyone will wait. Why the hell did Ramakrishna react? You see, that is where, if you are going to sacrifice your subject matter expertise in the interest of the audience, you are not going to go down in their eyes. You are going to go up in their eyes. My grandson sits and I have to tell a story to him. You mean to tell me I can tell a story to him the way I tell to you? I have to tell it to him at his level. That lion came. The lion was hungry. This way it came. No, he will look at me like that. Now, you see, by going down to his level, I am rising up in his eyes. I am not going down in his eyes. So, friends, drop your SME status. You are there to create a transformation in the mind of the people. When the people leave the platform, they should say, Kaiser, it is nothing. Such a simple thing. And we were breaking ahead. The man will get up, go and tell his wife, suno, tumko malum hai, what is Kaiser? I will tell you, come. The wife will wonder, my goodness, this is what comes of allowing this guy to go and listen to these programs. You should take it to that level. And after Rajalakshmi ma'am's program, people should think we don't require an auditor. We will file our return ourselves and get into serious trouble. That is where her expertise lies. Now, can we move on to the next one?
Yes, sir.
Are we ready?
Regarding safety, and I like to summarize that safety is not one person's job. It's a collective job in responsibility, and safety always first, and safety must. And friends, case study of Muhammad Saftar also reflect more of important aspects of industrial safety like hazards, risks, outcome, root causes of industrial accident, and follow-up of remedial measures. Now, friends, engineers as the leader of the shop floor and as a designer of materials and manufacturing, your job is to create, not to destroy. Creation takes place when you are focused, aware of safety of yourself and surroundings. Are you not careful at home? Always cared about safety so that no family members get hurt. Shop floor is your second home, and employees are your extended family members. Care for yourself and care for families.
Yes. What happened?
I think the picture of the family should have come when the family is mentioned actually. It has come way ahead. That's why there is a disconnect between what is told and what is the picture, visual as well as auditory.
Okay. Good observation. Next.
Picture is not related to what he's saying. Safety of the family.
Yeah, even I felt that.
Okay. What was really happening? What was really happening? What happened? Looking at it, could you understand what had happened? Jagdish ji had a written script with him and he was hell-bent on reading that script. Till that moment, it was all going very smoothly, till the breakout room. The disconnect happened after the breakout room. Remember one thing, every break after that, there is a beginning. The opening does not happen only once in the program. And you have to be alert for every opening. Do you know when you are all inside the breakout room what I am doing? Other than when I am there in the room looking at what you all are doing? I keep practicing how I am going to open once the breakout room is over. Did you observe Jagdish ji searching in the paper what the next sentence is? Where is the requirement? He knows the message. What is the message? That every engineer is the owner of the shop floor. He is the head of the family there. And the same way as the family at home is his concern, the people in the shop floor are his concern. Their safety is his concern. Friends, care for them. These 3-4 sentences to say that you require a paper and you require to look and search for those sentences. Such a beautiful program till that breakout room. Jagdish ji caught it by the throat and strangled it after that. Did you see that? Where was the requirement? It was after all one slide at the end. And remember one thing, if the closing is not impactful, your entire program will be flushed down. Don't ever underestimate the power of a closing. And don't get wedded to your script. The script is only a milestone. It's something which shows you where you are. That's all. Use your own language. That is the most powerful thing. Like Akash was telling, don't speak as you think because you write as you think. There is a difference between the written language and the spoken language. Speak normally. You will be very impactful. Jagdish ji, can you please unmute?
Yes, sir. I got it. It was a mistake.
Am I right when I say that you are trying to find out the words, sentences, and read it?
Yes, sir. I got locked that time.
And you got disconnected after the breakout room, right?
Yes, yes. That is the reason there was a pause.
Don't do that. Because till that moment, your program was flawless. Flawless. You see, this is the first program you are giving. And the first program itself was so good. It has received more than 1,400 views, more than anybody else's in the YouTube. Are you aware of it, Mr. Jagdish?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So you see, I know as you continue to give more and more programs, the fluency will come, the problems will go. But after today, you are not going to refer to paper. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Write down, read it, understand it, tear it, throw it, come and sit on the platform. If you have to make a mess of it, make a mess of it without the paper. At least you will have the satisfaction that you made a mess of it yourself.
Okay, sir. I will do it.
And I will suggest all of you to follow it. Don't fall for a script. The script is only to help you prepare the program. Don't get wedded to it. Use your own language, personal language. You will do exceedingly well because the stuff is all there inside you. It's all there inside. If you can create a wonderful program, articulating it in a conversational manner should not be difficult. I think that brings me to the close of the day. 10:20, 10 more minutes. I'm open for any question.
Sir, what is the process of opening after breakout room?
Nothing. Same opening, whatever you are doing. Only thing is treat it with as much of importance as you give to an opening. Give the same importance. If you give a 5-minute break, when you open, you should treat it as an opening. The best is, you see, I'll tell you, you are going to various rooms during the breakout room activity, correct?
Right.
Okay. You are listening to what they are all talking. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
Now you know what the train of thought is in all the rooms. Find out the train of thought which is closest aligned to the answer you have got. Depending upon the other breakout rooms, what they are discussing, you can use this as the last room to open to talk. For instance, if you find that room number 5 is closest to what you're thinking, then keep the room number 5 for the last. Don't allow room number 5 to talk in the meeting. Then pick the strain and from there proceed with your presentation. See, as you do it, you will get to understand all these things. It is not, rocket science. The simple idea is if room number 5 comes and opens the Pandora's box on the first itself, then all the other 4 rooms will catch up to it. Because when you have to debrief after room number 5 speaks, you will let the cat out and everything will be over. So wait, let the other room speak, then you bring room number 5. Then you pick it up, you say, excellent job done. Room number 5, this point they have spoken. Now let us see how this point is relevant to open. The opening will be impactful after the breakout room. But whichever way you do it, remember one thing. Don't fall into the trap of repeating exactly what you have decided as a script. The moment you do that, you get into serious problem. Because what will happen? Can any one of you tell me what will happen if you do that? If you become wedded to a particular script verbatim to repeat it?
If you don't get the word, you will get stuck actually.
Huh?
If you don't get the right word, you will get stuck actually. After that,
You will have to start all over again from the beginning.
Correct.
Sir, in one of my presentations, people didn't get some clue only because the slide was something and I was speaking something else.
Well, you are also following the script, huh? What you have written.
Yes, and I was not sure which slide was on the thing.
So, see, I'll tell you, Akash, it is not necessary. See, you have to write a script to prepare the slides. What you can do at the most is take a small phrase which will highlight the whole aspect of the slide and keep it. So that you know what you are in principle trying to tell. And then improvise.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, I just wanted to understand. So normally for in a session of 1.5 hours, how is it advisable to have 2 breakout room activities?
You can have 20 breakout room activities also.
But sir, does it not disconnect with the audience when you're speaking?
What depends upon what you are asking them to do. You see, please understand one thing, Vishal. What is it we are trying to do here? What are we trying to do?
To learn.
How?
In an implicit way.
How?
We are trying to engage the audience.
No. We are not trying to engage the audience. The purpose of the program is not to engage the audience. What is the purpose of the program?
Let them think.
Correct. To get them to think. If your program demands 4 touch points, that is 4 thought processes, you will have to have 4 breakout rooms. You can't avoid it. Because otherwise what you are doing, you are serving the food. They will not remember it. But if you force a person to think, what happens? He will go and search for answers. When he will come back, he will be waiting. Now I will get the answer. The moment you give the answer, he will relate it with what he thought to find out whether it is aligned or not. How much of mental activity you are creating. So what happens? The Velcro hook works and it stays in his mind. At the right time, it will jump off. It will come. You be 100% sure, Michelle, it will not go anywhere. You are going to see it in your life. It will keep appearing at the right moment.
I just had the thought that if we are communicating to on certain topic, and there is we give breakout room activity once it is fine in terms of getting the audience gel and having some break for the speaker also. But when we give 2 or more active breakout room activity, I feel that there is some disconnect with the audience because we are discussing among the audience and the speaker who has to give the message. He's got very less time to connect with them. That's what I feel.
That's okay. If you feel that, do you find disconnect?
Yes, at times I do find. At times, because one breakout room activity in a 1.5 hours program, I can understand. But for 2 or 3 activities, I think.
Why? If a disconnect has to happen, why should it not happen even in that one? Why should it not happen?
So that is the specialty of the speaker. The speaker should not let it happen. Because speakers should speak and engage.
So what you are telling is, it is not the breakout room which is at fault, it is the speaker who is at fault.
So that's what I'm saying. The breakout room.
Then how does it matter whether there is one breakout room or two breakout room or three? If the speaker is incapable of handling the crowd, then even one breakout room activity will be a failure.
No, so I mean to say that engaging of the crowd. I mean to say the speaker should always engage the crowd one-to-one. That's what I mean to say, rather than dividing them into different groups. That's my opinion, sir. I'm not discussing or arguing on that. It's just my thought. I wanted to discuss.
I fully appreciate what you're telling. You see, on the online platform, when do you do a one-on-one? When do you do a one-on-one?
So one-on-one, I mean to say 50 people are listening to me at a time. Rather, when you are in a breakout room, the people are discussing among themselves. So the speaker who is for whom they have come, that time is not given to them. That's what I feel.
Now, my question was, you see, you have to understand this from a different context. Number one, I am talking to you now.
Yeah.
What am I doing? What should I be doing? I should be using you as a decoy to talk to everyone.
Correct. Right.
Through you, I am giving a message to everyone. You have given me an opportunity to talk to everyone through you.
Yes.
You have raised a point that should the speaker not be speaking for that 1.5 hours other than put the people in the breakout room and get them to speak between themselves? That's your point, isn't it?
Right.
The answer to that is what is called as a social presence in community of inquiry. A social presence is where, in the adult learning principle, people learn through exchanging ideas, through exchanging their expertise and collaborating with each other. Inside the breakout room, what is happening? I give you a problem. If I ask you to sit in a corner quietly for 10 minutes and think about it, will you be able to think about it? You will not be able to think about it. Your mind will start wandering all over the place. But now what I've done, I have put you in a breakout room. I've given you all of you the problem and I have asked you to discuss. Now let me take a breakout room scenario. What really happens? The breakout room, the people have gone in. Initially, for the half a minute, there will be absolute silence.
Right.
People will wait for someone to open their mouth. One of them, what will happen is, let us say, Pooja ji is there and Lakshmi ji is also in the same room. They know each other. She will address a statement to Lakshmi ji. The conversation will start.
Right.
As soon as the conversation starts, a one-upmanship starts. You have made a statement, I can make a better statement than you. You have given an insight, I can give a better insight than you. In this competition, what happens? People start going into the depth of their subconscious and pulling out all the information relevant to the subject that they have, and they start putting it on the floor. Now what has happened? There is an exchange of ideas. You have one idea, Vishal. I have one idea. We get into the breakout room. I put my idea on the table. You put your idea on the table. We come out of the breakout room. Each one of us has got 2 ideas. Isn't that learning?
Yeah.
That is the objective of the program. The objective of the breakout room is not for the speaker to continue tra-la, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The speaker is not speaking to show his capability or to listen to his voice. He is speaking to stimulate a thought process in the minds of the audience so that the audience are able to go back with something relevant in their hand. Am I clear?
Yes, sir. The thought came to my mind because at times when we have 8 to 10 people in the breakout room, 3 or 4 people are not interacting more. So even they are aloof in that particular room. So
they are not aloof. They are not aloof. Maybe they do not have the confidence to speak at that time. But that's okay. As Shakespeare has said, they also play a part to stand by and watch. You see, learning is happening all over the place. Let us not worry about those who don't speak.
Okay. Right.
See, you have joined this program to learn something for yourself.
Correct.
You are not joined for Rehan or for Anil Ji or Akash. You have joined because you want to learn.
Yeah.
Then
So
the same thing, you know.
this time I was talking about the audience perspective. This is just an example that I gave it. So that is
That's
what
okay.
I did.
You gave me an opportunity to tell so much.
Yeah.
Vishal, I'm thankful to you.
Thank you, sir.
So would it be a, I mean, I'm also ready for feedback in case you can do it without the video, because I don't know whether the video is ready or not.
Huh? Your program was very good.
The critical view.
You could have done away with your first video, Lakshmi. The quality of the video was very poor. It was too long. And secondly, the handling of the video left a lot to be desired.
The Kelvin Hobbes painting video.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You see, if the video had been, you know, the same message could have been given in 1 minute. Instead of 2 minutes and 42 seconds or something, I think the video size was. And you know, that's okay. See, your program was very crisp and very nice. The ending was superb. The only place I found a bit of a disconnect was the video when it was played was not smooth. Possibly it was a technical defect. Second thing is it need not have been for 2 odd minutes. Because ultimately, you see, what was conveyed in 2 odd minutes could have been conveyed in 1 minute also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
If you had cut it down to 1 minute, in what way would the effectiveness of your question been reduced?
No, it wouldn't have. But
that's all.
I also felt, sir, I think the first video was made the breakout rooms very, very charged up and energized, with the level of discussions was way above what I had thought.
Correct. Now, you see, if you had kept it even more lower at 1 minute, it would have been even more charged. It could have been, isn't it? Because the message is the same.
All right. All right.
Think about it. See, your program was very good. Your transitioning was very good. Your delivery was very good. Everything was superlative. The only thing I felt was in that the first video, you know, it could have been a bit shorter, or maybe, you know, it was a technical defect, possibly. I don't know. I don't know how you mounted it onto the PowerPoint. Did you mount it on the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Then why you had to click it?
No, what happened was I was trying to, I was switching it on, but then I was trying to mute myself, and that's when the video stopped. But that was the only glitch I saw.
You see, if ideally a video, when it is mounted on the PowerPoint, starts on the second click after full screen sharing.
Yes.
The moment you do a full screen sharing, the video opens but doesn't play. The next moment you press it, it starts playing. But here, you know, you had all my videos, you will not see that bar, that stop bar, you will not see. Have you noticed it?
Okay, maybe I don't know, the way I embedded could have been wrong.
I'll show you.
So
you see, yeah. This is the video, isn't it?
Yes.
Do you see the stop bar?
No, that must be because it was a Vimeo video and all this. So maybe embedding went wrong somewhere.
Possible. That's why I said it could be a technical glitch also. You see, now it will start.
Regarding safety, and I like to summarize.
You see, when you mount it on your PowerPoint like this,
yes,
video will not have any glitch. Okay. But if it is played separately, then it has a glitch.
No, it was embedded on my slides only, but I don't know, maybe the way of doing it could have been wrong.
How did you do it? Tell me.
I clicked the link and inserted the video in the PPT PowerPoint.
Do you use the insert mode in the
insert video? Yes, insert video.
Okay,
Yes.
then do you stretch it to cover the entire slide size?
Yes.
Huh? And
Yes.
do you pull it down so that the bar goes below the slide?
No. No.
You should do that.
Okay. All right.
You understood?
Got it. Got it. Got it.
You pull it so that the bar goes below the slide, that you have that square box.
Yes. Got
Slide
it.
box. The bar should not be above, it should go below. Then what happens is it will come above.
Yeah.
And when you click on the, then you don't have to click on the slide.
Okay. Got it. Yes, sir.
Try it and see.
Surely. Surely, I'll try that.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because if you have to click and then unclick, it becomes a problem. And one suggestion I will always make to everyone is try to keep your videos as short as possible. Maximum, 1 minute. Going beyond that is always a problem.
Okay.
And particularly when, it is this type of videos where the messages can be delivered in 1 minute instead of 2 minutes. Use 1 minute.
All right.
Otherwise, it was excellent. Actually, there's absolutely nothing to say. It was very beautifully presented.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Should we break for the day? I think tomorrow we have got our main session, isn't it? 7 to 10.
Tomorrow?
So tomorrow, Thursday.
No,
Day after tomorrow. Day after
Oh, day after.
tomorrow.
Oh, sorry. Tomorrow is my introductory webinar. Try to attend that webinar. It is going to be very, very different. It's not going to be like the earlier ones. I think all the 3 webinars were different, isn't it? I didn't use the same story again. Did I?
No, it was different.
Tomorrow is going to be even more different.
Great.
Come, we'll have some good time. I know most of you already joined, but still, come, it will be very interesting. Okay, good night, folks.
Good night. Okay,
thank you.
Good night.
Hagi sir, see you tomorrow evening.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, sir.